The Detroit Lions signed Marcus Davenport in free agency, made a couple of late round draft picks, got some people in undrafted free agency, and brought in a player from a league, the CFL, in Matthew Betts to address the pass rush. We also will have James Houston coming back from injury. But I got a fever, and the only prescription is more pass rush. The UFL is a league that is designed to not only entertain us during the spring when there's nothing going on NFL-wise, but also to give those players a chance who weren't able to make a 53-man roster or maybe got overlooked in the NFL to maybe get that second opportunity and see what they could do with it then. We've been talking a lot about Jake Bates, the kicker for the USFL or the UFL, now Michigan Panthers, and how the Detroit Lions would do well to probably bring him in at least during the preseason after the UFL season is over. But there's another guy too that I asked a question about on Twitter yesterday, Breeland Speaks, and as I was watching him, I was like, man, his name sounds super familiar. And then I found out why. Shout out to my guy, JB on Twitter. Said I was going to do some research and figure out why this second round pick is not on an NFL roster. He currently leads not only the UFL, but the Michigan Panthers with 8.5 sacks. And he was drafted in the NFL back in 2018. But his story is one of caution. But the thing that I want to know is, could he have a second opportunity? And could that second opportunity, or more than a second opportunity, he's had ample opportunities, but how would the Detroit Lions do taking a look at anybody from a UFL roster, right? But you can never have more pass rush or too much pass rush, right? Now, of course, this guy would have to penetrate the 53-man roster or stick around on a practice squad. But we've had dudes. I mean, Bruce Irvin, we signed him late in the year last year. He spent his time on the practice squad. And when you're on the practice squad, you can only be brought up 3 times, and then they have to make a decision to cut you or to wind up putting you on the 53-man roster. But I found some stuff. Shout out to, again, JB, who sent me this information from Arrowhead Addict. And ironically, this article, is from this year, just a couple of months ago. As a matter of fact, just over 2 months ago. Breeland Speaks was a second round pick in 2018. And here is what is this? Arrowhead Addict had to say about Breeland Speaks. Says, in his rookie season, Speaks played in all games, even starting a few. However, his performances were far from the level expected of a second round pick. He managed only 24 tackles with 1.5 sacks and a single forced fumble. These numbers are a stark reminder of his lackluster impact on the field. His career took a further hit when he sustained an ACL tear in a preseason game, causing him to miss 2 whole seasons. Injuries can derail any player's career, and for Speaks, it was no different. The inability to stay healthy and contribute effectively on the field began to cast doubts on his future with the Chiefs. Eventually, the Chiefs decided to part ways with Speaks. His release in 2020 was a clear sign of the team's dissatisfaction with his contributions. The fact that he was not claimed on waivers and didn't even make it to the Chiefs practice squad further underlined his fall from grace. And while all of that may be true, what I want to focus on is what he's doing currently. Now, this guy has been obviously drafted in 2018 in the second round. He actually has a Super Bowl ring with the Kansas City Chiefs that first year he won. Now, this is his track record. He spent his entire career pretty much on the practice squad of an NFL team. The Las Vegas Raiders in 2020, the Dallas Cowboys also in 2020, the New York Giants in 2021, went back to the Dallas Cowboys in 2021, Buffalo Bills in 2021, the Michigan Panthers in 2023, which was the USFL's first season back, I believe, and then the San Francisco 49ers in 2023, and now he is on the Michigan Panthers in 2024. Now he got no action after that. He left the Kansas City Chiefs. My wife is playing music above me. It's throwing me off. So he got no action after that. But in the UFL, this guy has 8.5 sacks. Now you might be like, Derek, this guy is trash, all of that stuff. I'm not saying that he's going to come in here and change the game, right? But we're giving a CFL player who, albeit the defensive CFL player of the year, 18 sacks. So it is different, but it's more or less the same principle, is going deep when it comes to defensive end and having enough that somebody could come in where maybe we don't have to go out and get a 36-year-old Bruce Irvin or a 35-year-old Tyson Alu, right? We could have somebody on the roster. Now, this guy does lead the USFL in sacks. He does. Taco Charlton is also on the Birmingham Stallions, I believe, who have the best record in the National Football, the UFL. So these guys, I'm not saying that he's going to come in and be an impact player. All I'm saying is, could the Detroit Lions maybe take a flyer on him, put him on a practice squad, see what he has, see if he can actually make the 53, which is going to be tough. It's going to be extremely tough for a guy like this to make the 53, but to have some depth on the practice squad, because let's be honest, Mekhi Wingo is probably going to make the 53, James Houston 53, Matthew Betts the 53, right? So then on the practice squad, who are we talking about? The undrafted, the two undrafted rookie free agents, or could we bring a guy in? There's a lot of guys in the UFL, XFL, USFL that have made, don't forget, last year we brought in one of the receivers for the St. Louis Battlehawks to try out. So I wouldn't be opposed to this, just to add some depth. Again, not my pass rushing mania days. Those are over. Everybody's gone. Everybody's going to be gone for a long time. Probably getting somebody is going to be a combination of the draft. And yes, we have Mekhi Wingo, who has a chip on his shoulder, who I expect to show and use that chip to not only make the 53-man roster. Can he do something James Houston didn't originally do, which was make the 53-man roster? So Breeland Speaks would have a ton of competition, but I'm all about giving somebody a chance, man, especially when you can never have too many. And you got the practice squad, which is 16 men, which is an extension of the 53-man roster. So you got 53, then you have another 16 for the practice squad, 69, right? Now this guy has not been able to do more than the practice squad, and I'm not even sure he would want to be on the practice squad. But if anybody has a chance to, because you can always go back to the USFL in the spring, so it's not like you're gonna, have any type of conflict if you decide to come to the NFL. But I mean, if you're doing well in a specifically, I wouldn't be mad. Let's just put it like that. He's not going to cost much. Wouldn't be mad. And again, you can never have. Last year was indicative because a few injuries later, James Houston, a few injuries later, then we're now all of a sudden we could have a position that we're super deep in that we don't have anybody, right? So I wouldn't be mad, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We've seen, first round picks. I'm actually surprised, to be completely honest with you, that Jeff Okudah is not in the UFL. I'm completely surprised. There's a lot of former first, second round picks that could go. Tease Tabor. Tease Tabor is in the UFL at this point. So I don't think it's a throwaway league. I think it's a league where a lot of people can show their potential. This guy has been unable to crack a 53-man roster since he was drafted. So I'm not saying he's going to be a game changer. I'm just saying it wouldn't hurt. At this point, it wouldn't hurt. But can he even beat out anybody on the practice squad? He spent most of his career on the practice squad, so he's definitely practice squad worthy. So let me know what you think. Have you been watching the UFL? What do you think of Breeland Speaks? He's super slow, but he seems like he has a pretty high motor. I can't be mad at him. ACL tear, out 2 years. The fact that he's even playing at this point is a big deal. So I wouldn't be mad. I'm not saying he's going to come in and change the game, but I wouldn't be mad watching him in the UFL. I wouldn't be mad if we brought him in or something like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is not about taking somebody's roster spot. This is about depth and potential. But let me know what you think. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.